Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EuroFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Greetings everybody, guys. Let's take a look on the euro currency again. So actually the technical part of this report probably will be the more boring than the fundamental part, just because of the price action on the markets in this week. So you could take a look at the chart and see what has happened within the recent 4 or 5 candles here, just to understand that nothing has happened. And well, from the technical point of view, it's not much to talk about, especially take a look on Friday. This was a holiday in the United States. Even the non-farm payrolls release had been postponed and, or better to say, shifted on a Thursday. And reaction on the non-farm payrolls release also was anemic, so not big moves have happened. And currently, the fundamental part of the analysis, it's significantly more informative and more interesting compared to the technical part. This is rarely happen, but sometimes still it happens. On the fundamental part of the research, I would say towards that, well, if you do not want to read it, that the overall situation of the recovery stands really fragile. Because investors and analysts come to the conclusion that the first euphoria that is based on the huge liquidity inflow of start trading, the job data that we've got from the United States, it is a bit mixed, because despite the good numbers, we should know that the half or even 2/3 of these numbers are the personnel of the hospitals and different public food dieties, so bars, restaurants, and others. Also, the big part of the unemployment persons who are specified as temporary unemployment. But, well, from the temporal, they could turn to residual. And that tells that overall recovery, although we see that some numbers of the recovery stand, but it is not as strong as it seems from the data. That's the major conclusion that we've got from today's fundamental analysis. Taking into consideration the additional moments, such as difficult political situation in the United States, situation with the spreading of the virus in the United States, coming elections, and all the stuff together creates really, well, explosive mix that could bring the surprises within the few months. Speaking on the virus spreading, you know that the situation is deteriorating in the United States and new cases are rising just because of the events that have happened there. It's the reopening of the same public places, this unrest that have taken place in the last month as well. So all this stuff brings more infected cases in the United States. And currently on the horizon, indeed, we see the hints on the possible returning back to self-isolation and reclosing of the same public places. So, well, that's not obvious that this will not happen. So this really could happen. And that makes us think that currently the balance stands a bit in favor of the euro. So we do not know how market reacts on the negative events in the United States. As you know, the demand for the safe haven usually supports dollar. But speaking purely on the background of the fundamental factors, euro looks better in the current situation. That's our conclusion. At the same time, on the chart, you could see that euro definitely has the lack of the driving factor. So overall positive fundamental gives market chance to hold in the tight range, stands flat. But at the same, it has not enough power just to start upward action. On the weekly chart, you will see the long tails for the 4 consecutive weeks that we have. It means that this is strategical area. So by the investors, the 1550 area is treated as the strategical, as a lot of sellers step in at this level and sell everything that is climbing back to the somewhere in 115 area. So that explains the lot of tails here. At the same time, market stands in a very tight range. Means that the buyers from the opposite side also step in somewhere around 112 and buying the seller's positions. So this leads to kind of the price action that traders call as a churning. And it means that when in a very tight range, there are a lot of currency changing the hands. And this usually, once the churning is over, it leads to the explosive breakout in one or other direction. And my suggestion, by my just personal view, it seems somehow I suggest that, well, chances on upward breakout currently looks better. But the few factors that we already talked about is flag pattern, tight consolidation, very small retracement, forming some kind of the additional support area inside of the flag. So it creates the background for a possible action. Here's actually, guys, we have the hint on the possible bullish dynamic pressure, because take a look, trend stands bearish, but price action is not forming high lows. That makes me think that upward breakout here is more probable. Still, until market stands above the conference, bullish context will be valid anyway. On the intraday charts, on the follow time frame chart in particular, I think that we could, according to our trading plan, we could take the bet on this butterfly. So with any pullback closer to the bottom of the butterfly, this invalidation point of the butterfly, and any minor retracements here, as it was with our XLP, if you remember. This was our minor XLP, and we said it probably should be tested. Well, and any this kind of retracements, we could try to take the long position, because here we indeed could make the good bet with the placing very tight stop. If we will be wrong, well, the loss will be very small. But if we'll be right, it will be a great reward, because market could accelerate to the 1550 area. And until market stands above these lows, the potential butterfly is valid. So that's the first part of our strategy. If somehow we will be wrong and market indeed will break it, in this case we will sit on the hands and wait just for this confidence support, and we'll keep an eye on the possible bullish reversal patterns that will be formed there. But currently, the only more or less reliable combination that we have is based on the butterfly. On the hourly chart, personally, I do not see something really interesting. Yes, market is forming here is kind of the triangle that we discussed also already. Inside of the triangle, it's very choppy price action that you personally do not see something really interesting. No available patterns, something of that sort. Yes, you could find a lot of divergences. First divergence was our divergence that we have traded. Now we have another opposite divergence here with the synchronicity. Here as well, we have another divergence, but all this stuff is not really very important. The one thing that probably could be interesting next week, take a look. Inside of the, right in the middle of the triangle, we have the combination of the two pivots. The blue line is a weekly pivot point, the gold line is the new July pivot point. As you know, the pivot is the sentiment indicator, and that will be very interesting what will happen. For example, if market will climb above the both pivots, well, that will be important, and that could make us think that indeed market takes the bet on the possible upward acceleration, upward breakout. So that will be positive sign for the bulls if market somehow will move above the pivots. That could be important sign on the next week. That's probably all that we have on the technical part of the research. Currently, we have no choice but just wait. If you do not want to trade the butterfly, well, you could wait for either upward breakout, or if market will hit the 111 conference support somehow, that will be another opportunity to go long and at least consider taking the long position. Speaking on the short position, currently, guys, I do not see good setups for going short here, because, well, the factors that we have on the daily chart, as I said, mostly are bullish, by my view. So that's probably all that we could say currently about the euro.